Hey, what's up, everybody, man? So, welcome to episode 12 of Find Out the Truth About Odell Beckham Jr. This really supposed to be episode 15. I know a lot of people been hitting me up about the episodes. In case you haven't seen my post, the reason why those episodes are missing is because the NFL is not doing their job, bruh. They supposed to upload the film every week for every game if you have Game Pass, bruh. When Odell played against the Vikings, 75% of the clips was missing. When he played against the Ravens, they didn't upload anything, you feel me? So this is their fault why the series has been on delay. But it's cool, we're right back. But just to catch y'all up in case you've been living under a rock, when he played against the Vikings, he caught 4 of 8 targets for 37 yards and 1 touchdown. Then he turned around and went and played the Baltimore Ravens, caught 5 of 7 targets for 39 yards, and got into the end zone once again. But things were a little bit different when he played against the 49ers. He only caught 2 of his 5 targets for 18 petty yards. So he wasn't really that much a part of the game plan. Plus, the way the game flowed, the opportunities were just a little bit limited. But before we hop into this, just to let y'all know in advance, every single clip from the overtime drive is missing. I just don't get it, but that's how they doing it. You feel me? But we got Odell on the outside. What he ends up doing is running a deep curl in between the zones. He sits right in between the middle. Stafford throws it to him, even though the window is small. Stafford don't really care inside. Deep down inside, Stafford don't care. He gonna throw it. He doesn't care, bruh. And that's a good pass. A good catch by Odell. Straight hands, strong hands to hold on to it at the same time. Only the best of the best is catching that. But you got Odell on the outside. What he ends up doing is stutter stepping, tries to get the outside release with his speed. Stafford is looking. The corners with him every step of the way. So as you look back at Matt Stafford in the backfield, he turns to Cooper Kupp and lets it loose. And of course, it's a completion. And Cooper Kupp does what he's been doing all year, making Matt Stafford look better. Then right here, you got Odell on the outside. And what he ends up doing is stutter stepping on the release, takes the outside, boom, cuts inside, kills the defender, you feel me? But as you can see, over top, there is a safety in the play, and the corner is still in the play. So it's not like Odell was going to be able to do anything there. But as you look in the backfield, Stafford is already headed to the ground somewhere in that pile. So the opportunity was not going to be given to anybody on the field to make a play here. Then you got Odell on the outside right here. What he ends up doing is running free in between the zones. He's going to be open on this corner route, but before he can even cut to the corner, Stafford is looking at his first read. He's locked in, and what Stafford does is throw the ball right to him to help move the chains and get a fresh set of downs. Then right here, you got Odell lined up on the inside, and what he ends up doing here is running a corner route. But before he can get into the route, Stafford is locked in on this receiver, and he wants to squeeze it in between that gap before the linebacker with the dreads. And that's exactly what he does before Fred Warner can really crack him, and make him drop it. But then you got Odell right here underneath. What he ends up doing, I don't really know. But it's like he's really just taking the defender out the play. But the defender's with him every step of the way. Stafford's locked in on Van Jefferson on this underneath drag. And that's the right play. And he hits him. Even though he ends up getting cracked, that's the right throw. Then you got Odell right here on the outside. And what he ends up doing is running free a mid-crossing route. The defender ends up holding Odell. That's pass interference. Holding him, blocking him off, all types of shit. Matt Stafford's forced to throw it away. Refs got to do their job there. You got Odell on the outside. They pressing him. What he ends up doing, he ends up working to beat that. But before he can even beat him, Cooper Kupp is running a zig route. Stafford knows he's going to break open, and he delivers under pressure. He never had time to wait on Odell to finish his route. Then right here, you got Odell lined up on the outside. And what he ends up doing here is pretty much running like a fade route. But before he can really finish his route, Stafford is looking at his check down, and that's who he's going to go to. Right to the check down. So, It's just a lot of quick throws and just trying to get the ball out and getting sacked from Stafford. But you got Odell right here. What he ends up doing is running the fade route. And Stafford never looked Odell's way. Odell had a small opportunity there, but the corner was playing good D. But it is what it is, you know. You got Odell right here on the outside. And what Odell ends up doing right here is running a little curl route. Before he can even finish his route, because he was going to be open, Stafford was already locked in on throwing the ball to Cooper Kupp, his favorite target. And that's exactly what he does under pressure. You see him on the ground. He was under pressure. But you got Odell on the outside again. What Odell ends up doing here, killed the corner, inside advantage, killed the corner, froze him for the slant, and somehow he slipped. He could have got a little bit more yards. But you got him on the inside right here, like a linebacker's on him. Ends up getting a decent release, but they are with him every step of the way. And as you can see, if you look in the backfield, it doesn't matter because Stafford is on his way to the ground once again. They own his ass, man, all game, bro. You got Stafford right here on the, not Stafford, Odell on the outside. What he ends up doing is trying to get a good release off the line. His corner is with him every step of the way, but Stafford is locked in on throwing to this guy. And that's exactly what he does under pressure. But he dropped it. What a bum. You got Odell right here on the outside. What he ends up doing is simply running another mid-crossing route. But as you can see, when he is open, the defender is on Matt Stafford's ass. Man. And he goes to the ground once again. These 49ers did not come to play. Then you got Odell on the outside again. What Odell ends up doing here is simply running another deep curl route. And as you can see, you know, he's in between the zone. You know, the underneath guy probably could make a play. To do it over top, you know, he probably could come make a play from behind. Who knows? But Stafford has intentions to throw the ball to Cooper Kupp, regardless of how the defense is. And that's exactly what he decides to do. Of course, they're in the play, and they come and get an easy interception, bro. Stafford's known for just doing shit like that. But you got Odell on the outside. What Odell ends up doing right here is simply running a deep curl route. And as you can see, look in the back of the end zone, backfield, you got the DN coming off the end. So he got to get that ball out. What he ends up doing is stepping up into the pocket, ends up damn near going down anyway, and gets the ball out to avoid the sack. Then right here, you got Odell lined up on the outside. And what he ends up doing is running a double move. Face to out, boom, cuts it upfield. And as you can see, before he can finish the route, Stafford is already locked in on this guy deep, on the deep end. And he just lets it rip. It's a little bit late, but it's a great decision. And it helps move the chains. Then you got Odell right here on the outside. And what he ends up doing is basically running an end route. And as you can see, look in the backfield before Odell can even finish his route. The pressure is there. So what Stafford has to do is basically step up into the pocket, you know, avoid some sacks. And he ends up trying to complete a pass to the tight end, but it just ain't work out that way. But you got Odell on the outside once again. He's getting pressed. And what he ends up doing is getting a good release off the line, gets the inside advantage. And then, boom, as he's trying to push off to help get open on the curl route, look in the backfield again. You got the DN coming off the edge. He coming, bruh. They is not playing no games. Taking his ass to that ground again, bruh. Then you got Odell on the outside again. What he ends up doing, getting a free release. And he ends up running basically a little, I don't even know, bro. He was killing him, though. But Stafford is locked in on this guy right here. He's anticipating that throw, and he lets it go right to him. You feel me? And they right on it. But that's why he didn't get the ball there. You got Odell right here on the outside. And what Odell ends up doing right here is simply getting a good release off the line. As you can see, he's open on his route. The defender is in Stafford's face, bruh. He got to get that ball out. He decides to throw it, fuck it, right up to Cooper Kupp under pressure, and it just happens to work out. Then right here on this next play, you got Odell lined up on the outside. He's not getting the ball here. Just to let y'all know, the play was designed for Cooper Kupp, but the route running was great there. He got the inside advantage. He killed that corner, but the play was designed to go to Cooper Kupp the whole time, and it ended up working out. Then you got Odell lined up on the outside. What he ends up doing is running a deep curl route. Ain't nobody got time to wait on that shit to develop, bruh. You got to do it underneath. Stafford's looking dead at him. He's already open. What he does just anticipates the throw. Gets it right to him, and it's an easy, complete pass, if I'm not mistaken. Then you got Odell lined up on the outside, and what Odell ends up doing here is running a simple streak. A simple streak, adds his little double move to it, but as you look in the backfield, Stafford is on his way to that ground once again in a second. Look at him, he already on the ground. They was killing his ass all game, bruh. Now, I know some of y'all wondering, where's the rest of the clips? Where's the play where Odell was underthrown? I really wish I could provide that to y'all, but like I said earlier, they did not upload any clips from that drive in overtime. Corny, man. But my opinion on that is definitely Matt Stafford underthrew Odell. That's just my opinion. I would show it on camera, but I don't want to get my video copyrighted from the YouTube highlights, you know? But this is my conclusion, because we're going to end this series simply because of the film difficulties, and because, you know, I think we've seen enough. Regardless of what he does in the playoffs, I don't think it's going to change my opinion on who he is as a receiver currently. So, the purpose of this episode was the purpose of this episode was really to bring attention to Odell Beckham Jr.'s situation. Bring awareness to the situation. A lot of people have so much stuff to say with no evidence, nothing to back it up. So I really wanted to just provide y'all with the film to not only tell y'all what I think, but to also give y'all a true resource to say what you think about Odell Beckham Jr., who he is, and his situation. So this is my conclusion. And I'm going to try to keep it a little bit brief, but I'm going to talk a little bit at the same time, you know? So, throughout Odell Beckham's 3 years in Cleveland, he was being held back. It's just simple as that. Even when he did reach his 1,000-yard season the first year, when Freddie Kitchens was the head coach, that still wasn't the same Odell Beckham Jr. So let's start with Baker. Baker really played a part in Odell not being productive. Throughout the 3 years, there's been numerous occasions where Baker is just not, throwing the ball to Odell when he's open. He'll look at Odell and look right away, seeing that he's open. He'll look at him, hesitate, pump fake, and then look him off. He was also scared to throw the ball to Odell Beckham Jr. downfield. Unless he was just completely open, he was scared to give him one-on-one opportunities throughout the 3-year stretch. What else? There's some other stuff too, but Baker really played a part. Then you got Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski flat out fumbled having a receiver like Odell Beckham Jr. He made no efforts to draw up plays to get him open, unless it was a screen. Really only gave him a lot of short opportunities like slants, curls, out routes, some in routes, but really a lot of short opportunities, nothing deep. Nothing was really drawn up for Odell Beckham Jr. to make plays deep. He was never really the first read on a lot of plays. If you go back, you will notice Baker rarely looked his way first. It was always somebody else. So that gave Baker another excuse not to really throw the ball to Odell Beckham Jr. from the get-go. Then what really blew me was when that Hail Mary came up, right? And it was definitely one of the earlier episodes when he was on the Browns. Stefanski didn't even have him run downfield for the Hail Mary. Like, this your best receiver. He has the best hands on the team. Why is he not getting the rock? Why is he not down there to make a play? It's kind of weird stuff like that. So when I seen that, I already knew what it was. Like, yeah, they on some weird stuff. They don't really know how to use this dude for real. So it was only right for him to get traded. Not traded, but it was only right for him to jump ship. Like, he did not fit here. He did not belong here. We did not care to use his services, and I will forever blame the Browns for what they did. The Browns, we do too much. We do too much BS, and bro, I can't get on no pass, bro. But when he went to LA, this is the difference. It was not a drastic difference, but what we saw was Odell just simply be productive. I don't think Odell went here to lead the league in receiving yards or go crazy, but I think Odell went here to simply get himself back on track, you know. When he joined LA, he joined before Robert Woods tore his ACL, you know. So he already knew what he was getting himself into. He was joining a team. Not only did they have the best, you know, passing attack and, you know, MVP candidate quarterback, and not only was the team in general hot, but they had the top receiver of the season, Cooper Kupp, going crazy. Robert Woods was there. They had Van Jefferson on the rise. They also got a run game they like going on. And they also got Higbee at tight end. Like, he was going to naturally have to compete with a lot of people for opportunity. So I don't think he went there to go crazy, but he just went there to get back on track. And as you can see, after seeing him with the Rams simply did what the Browns could not simply do. They found ways to get him open. They know what type of weapon he is. They found ways to get him open. They drew up plays for him specifically. They made him the first read more than the Browns have ever made him the first read, bruh. Well, yeah, they just oh, and they also used him in red zone opportunities and scoring positions. They got him touchdowns. He has at least like 5 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken, as a Ram, you know. All they did was just utilize him. They didn't overutilize him. They didn't force him to rock. They didn't try to make him a superstar. None of that. They just utilized him because they know the talent that he has, you know. But Odell as a player, he is still a good route runner. Still one of the best, you feel me? There was some times where he did struggle with defenders. There was some times when defenders clamped him up. We saw the dreads on the Seahawks clamp him up, you feel me? But other than that, he runs good routes. He still has some speed, you know. He's definitely still fast. I don't think he's that fast as he used to be, but he's definitely still fast, you know. What I did notice that I didn't really like, Odell is not as aggressive as he used to be. He seems a little bit scared of contact. He runs out of bounds more often. He's not as elusive. He doesn't really, I don't think he really tries as hard after the catch as he used to, you know. Like, I think he's really a little bit timid after the injuries, you know. Courtesy of Baker Mayfield. I forgot to tell y'all, he also injured he also injured Odell Beckham Jr. too, you know. But, what was I saying? Yeah, he's just not really as explosive as he used to be. And, you know, that's probably just the injury. But he still got the hands. I don't know if I said that. He definitely still got the hands. Even though he dropped some stuff, he still got the hands. I just think for Odell to put up superstar numbers, I think he needs to go to a team that truly needs him, like the Packers. Someone that needs him to really be a wide receiver too, if not the one. I don't know what team that is. I know the Packers is one of them, but I really don't really know the other teams. But he needs to go somewhere where they truly need his services instead of the Rams, you know, where they just found him as a nice addition, you know, like they could use his service. We need somebody that needs his services if he wants to have a Hall of Fame career. So, going to the Rams definitely showed that the Browns are holding him back. But when he joined the Rams, he still did not necessarily prove a lot of doubters wrong, if that makes sense, because he did not go ballistic or anything like that. So I would love to see Odell Beckham Jr. next year after a full year, all season of training camp, work, etc., being healthy and just seeing what he would do with a different team. But I don't think LA is the team for him for the future. So, last thing I want to say, he's not top 10. He has top 10 potential still. He's still top 10 talent. But, you know, out of respect for the dudes that's actually been putting up the production, he is not top 10. But he's still one of them dudes, if that makes sense. So, let me know what y'all think in the comment section about Odell Beckham Jr. after watching this series. Let me know what y'all also think about Odell Beckham Jr. Where he should go in the future. Let me know everything. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I got some more content coming soon.